Yo, what is good? We are back, and today I'm going to be showing you how to make insane vocal samples from scratch, and the easiest way possible to do this. This is coming from me, who has very little to no music theory knowledge and can somehow finesse my way to making some semi-decent melodies. So if you're in the same boat, I got you. And in this video, I'm going to be going a little bit more in depth with mixing, kind of explaining my process around mixing and things like that. So this could be a classic. Make sure you strap yourself in. Smash the like button now so you can save this video for when you're cooking up next, and you can use all these tips, tricks, and even this chord progression that I'm about to use. You can just use it yourself. Yeah, let's just get started. If you're new, hit the subscribe button. You know what to do. For today's BPM, we're gonna pick 150. To be honest, 150 seems to be what I'm kind of cooking up in a lot. So for vocal samples, I'm not gonna lie, a plugin that you're probably gonna need is Contact, and inside of Contact you're gonna need a couple of banks. The best bank for this is Firelight. Now if you're a long-term viewer, you know I use Firelight a lot. I swear by this bank. Every single thing inside of here is basically some sort of vocal in a pad. And for a scale, you know me, I like to work inside of minor scales. We're gonna go C sharp minor, which is actually kind of funny because I put up a poll on Instagram asking everyone what their favorite scale was, and this was the result. Head over to Instagram and follow me now. Obviously the chord progression at the very beginning is going to be the most important chord progression because it's going to determine the entire beat. So you do kind of want to play around and kind of make sure that you're getting the right notes. That's pretty low down. Let's keep our bass note here while pushing these two notes up. So this is a simple C sharp minor triad. We're just going to drop this note 1 and push it up an octave. I think we're going to come up to E. Bro, anytime the weather changes, I get sick. So then if we're coming down to E, I think we can go like that. Maybe we can go back down to C. And for the last chord, let's get rid of the G sharp. And let's go back to the D sharp. So we're kind of keeping some of the same notes in the chord progression. And just to make everything sound a little bit nicer, we're going to add a little note up the very, very top. C sharp again. Now the next step is basically layering these sounds together, because if you want to get vocal samples, you need to get like multiple sources of vocals. If you think about like choirs and stuff, it's not just one person. Also, I'm leaving everything unmixed right now, and once I kind of get all my pads together, I'm going to show you my process of how I mix, so that one, they're not like clashing for space, they're not clashing for frequencies, and just kind of how to get everything smooth in the mix. So once again, we're staying inside of Firelight. We're taking the wavering choir, and would you believe it, I'm going to copy this, I'm going to paste it in here. Except we're going to take out these top notes. We're staying inside of Firelight, except this time we're coming over to the atmosphere tab. And trust me, there's going to be more to this than just copy and pasting a chord progression, I promise. But this is just kind of the base that we need to do. So copy and paste again. Okay, sounds good. Ooh, this... Alright, this pad sounds a bit funky. First of all, I'm just going to come down over here and turn it down a little bit. This sounds like it already has Portal on it, which makes me want to put Portal on it. Try it reverse. Yeah, I like that. I want to make this a little bit more wide because it's sounding very down the middle. So let's stereo separate it. And also, we're going to throw halftime on it. And you know what? I actually don't want the low end in this. So for me, I like to cut out 200 hertz when I'm taking out low end. I'm gonna put pancake on it on a very low percent. I will be mixing everything else in just a second. Gonna come into a new bank in Contact. It's called Mosaic Voices. I mean, you're making vocal samples. This is gonna be a bank you're gonna want. This preset sounds... I think I'm gonna get rid of the church thing. I'm gonna get rid of that as well. I think I just want the actual vocal. Once again, same chord progression. You can tell that this one's very dry by the way that the release and the attack is on it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mute everything and go back to the very first pad. So the first thing that I want to do to this is slightly stereo separate it. This sound is actually very high quality. We're going to do little to no mixing to it. Just to be different, I'm going to use Fruity Reverb too. Sometimes using different sound and reverbs can help kind of differentiate sounds because you don't want to be using the same effects on everything. So just by using different reverbs can kind of help project different sounds. So we're going to bring it down to maybe about 60%-ish. So let's bring in the next one. Next pad being this. Again, we're going to need to stereo separate it a bit, but like I said, I don't like using the exact same effects on everything. So this one, we're going to use stereo shaper and just slightly shape it. I'm going to take out a tiny bit of the low end. Valhalla vintage verb on it. Just put it as bright hall. Put it on now. Low cut up. Bass frequency down. Turn that a little bit. Pre-delay down. Now, I feel like I can hear some slight harsh frequencies. Now, if you don't have FabFilter Pro Q3, there is another dynamic EQ that literally just came out today that's free. This is not a sponsored video. I literally just seen it on Instagram. I'll put it on screen now. It's from Initial Audio. I'm pretty sure it's extremely similar to this. So if you want the free version of this EQ, then I would check out from Initial Audio. There's some great sauce, by the way. Make sure you leave a like for that. We're going to see where some of the peaks are. So this one here, I'm going to bring that down a little bit. And if you don't have any of these, I'm going to show you kind of how to manually EQ some harsh frequencies. I feel like that's going to be kind of high. Get that down a little bit. There. You hear that? So we're just going to duck that. And then this kind of rings a little bit too. Something like that. Just as simple as that. That's kind of how you can duck out some of them harsh frequencies in your melodies. Now let's try level these off of each other. So what I like to do is I like to bring this down to 0. And I'm going to play the first melody. I'm going to slowly bring this up. Somewhere around there. I think that's a nice balance. Normally, I kind of skip over this process in most of my videos, so I think it's actually good that you kind of get a bit of an insight on how I do it. And again, I feel like this actually needs very minimal, so what I will do is I'm going to make this extremely wide. So I use the 4 strings preset. Now I'm going to do the same process. I'm going to have this velocity on 0, play the original 2 melodies. And bring this up. And there. Alright, next we have the porta melody. Gonna bring this in. Just there. I want this one really tucked in the background just for kind of like texture purposes. And last, we have this one, which like I said is very dry. So to make it more wet, we're just going to put on Valhalla Vintage, turn it down to maybe like 85. I'm going to bring down the decay, turn the pre-delay down. I'm going to put it on Bright Hall, turn up the low cut, take down the bass frequency. I feel like it comes through my right ear a little bit more, so I'm just going to slightly pan it left too. I'm going to put it on 0, bring in the others. Just about there. All right, now that we have our kind of like vocal atmosphere, now we can actually try to get some like vocal phrases in here. First one being vocalized 3. Gonna put it on now. Turn the decay down. I think I'm going to leave it 100%. And for good measure, just to make sure it's kind of fitting into the mix, pancake. Now, for the last bank, we're going to be using Vocalize 2. These are smooth, but let's try and mix them. We're going to stereo separating them just the tiniest bit, not too much. Then we're going to come into Valhalla, keep it at 100%. Then we're going to come into the EQ and we're going to choose the radio preset. And like I do with most vocals, I put pancake on them just so they're given a little bit of space in the mix. Control Alt and C, which we can then reverse. Let's pitch down 3. What I'm going to do is I'm going to consolidate this. Once consolidated, you want to click into it, come into Audio Editor. You want to click this blur tool, click accept, drag it out. Then I'm going to, which I'm then going to reverse one more time and repeat the same process of blurring it. And then for the final time, we're going to press reverse and repitch up 300 cents. That's a pretty fire melody. I feel like this melody can be used in lots of different ways and genres, and I feel like trying to get slightly creative with the drums, so that's exactly what we're gonna do. By the way, I'm using all sounds from my latest hood trap drum kit. Like I said, it's not only a drum kit for hood trap, this is a drum kit that I'm just using all 2024 for any genre, any style. I'm using this drum kit. It's got everything. If you made it this far in the video, man, smash the like button for me. It's free and it genuinely helps YouTube push my content so other producers can see this. By you pressing that like button, it genuinely helps me out quite a lot. That is so smooth. Like I said, this is a different beat. These drums are sounding a little bit different to what I normally make. Run me up on Instagram and TikTok, because they're the only two things I care about. I'm out. Good luck. See you later. Bow.